Hi and welcome to Integrated Awakenings. It's me, Maria, and today we are doing sleep inductions. Now, why are we doing this? Spirit told me yesterday that, Maria, when you're teaching, guiding, transmitting, do remember that most folks don't have an all-pervading experience of God. They don't have that lived experience of a perfect love, right? That pierces through them all of the time, right? And gives you this deep kind of restfulness. Also, not everybody is lucid and conscious as they're navigating a lot of subconscious and unconscious realms. So, honestly, I said, well, I wanted to fix that. And the thing is, death as a door is often rehearsed in sleep. Your senses go offline. It's literally quote unquote nighttime. If you really do pretend as you go to bed that you are truly dying, you will be closer to a capital G God. Because what does happen when you die? You go back to infinite source, you go back to union, right? So the thing is, this surrender, this leaning into surrender, and the rejuvenation of it, honestly, of your systems fully, your external systems fully coming offline, and your internal systems being rewired back to source, that whole internal journey, right? That's something that ought to be happening every time you're closing your eyes to rest, every time you're trying to sit down, quiet down, meditate, and every time you're going to bed. Now, the fact that most folks don't know how to rest means that this is a quality that needs to be really, really, if you suck at sleep and resting, please imagine me hitting your head really hard. That's not funny. Like, that is not, there's literally a whole dimension. There's this parasympathetic nervous system in your body that doesn't exist because you're not practicing it. And the thing is, I'm going to give you a bunch of doors, transmissions, inductions to go to it. And I'm giving you 3 versions. So, there's one for everybody. The first one is the one that I do recommend as like, oh yay, premium, top-notch kind of stuff. This is me. I'm going to try to dip you all the way. Meaning, as permitted by your free will and your guides, it's going to be all dimensions of yourself, recollecting, rejuvenating, resting in original source energy, right? And then it's perennially refreshing itself, meaning it is finding the best point literally every second. Yeah. And will finish, ease up, ease out as you are waking up. Okay? Now, so for people who are okay with just receiving energy, transmissions, downloads without needing to understand them, this is really good for you, because a lot of the times what blocks us from receiving is sometimes we just want everything to be explained to us. And when we kind of humble ourselves and just surrender and yield, there's actually more stuff that can come through, because you're just finally letting go of control, letting go of needing to understand, right? It's like an unclenching, okay? Now, I understand that some people are not used to this kind of deep surrender, so I have you version 2. So version 2 is going to be something in the around 4th, 5th, 6th dimension, so we're going to be toggling around those. And I'm going to guide you into a specific power place / bedroom energy. We're going to do a little bit of energy architecture here. And it's going to be a place where you are supported, right? Supported, rejuvenated. And there's a little bit of an ante-room / homework room / school room. Yeah, like a desk. We're going to see what Spirit says. Where you are able to unravel, unpack, and understand what you're downloading. So these are for folks who do want to remember their dreams more and do want to learn from Spirit via dreams, via sleep. and want to be able to be instructed, right? So this has a more, I want to talk slash understand you. And again, see how I've probably done this a lot of times, right? So I've done this kind of depth 1,000 times. And there's no judgment if you do need to want to be explained to. Yeah. And the thing is, you, with spirit, you need to ask. You need to ask that you want these things to be explained to you. And it might take some time for the architecture of this space, depending on your energies. The space might take a while before it could grip. So I do advise people to try this for at least 3 nights to see what messages slash to really allow the grids to hold. Yeah. Also, this is applicable for everybody who's like listening to this. I do need you to give me some permission to lay on some energy grids to wherever you're sleeping. When you're listening to these, you need to be lying down on the bed you do sleep in. Yeah, because it has some clearings and protections for like your physical space. And if you're doing type 1, type 2, type 3, do check the description when the start and end times are so that you could forward to the version that you'd like. Yeah. Alternatively, if you're very OC, you could download this as an audio and then clip it so that it really ends when it ends and you don't need to hit pause or stop. All right. And then the last one is for folks who are kind of scared a lot, like are very averse to a lot of, for example, okay, let's just say there's a lot of transformations happening in your external life. You're going through a divorce, you're going through a breakup, you're going through layoffs, you're going through poverty, you're going through just very traumatic stuff, right? And you kind of don't want your sleep to be eventful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be held in the secure arms of a buff angel. Like, this is just pure fluff and comfort. It's like pure vanilla, right? So that's option 3, which I also really understand because when your conscious life is hellstorm, I don't want to accidentally initiate you into more crazier shit in your dream realm. See what I'm saying? Even if you're safe there, I know that some people's conscious spoons, meaning their capacity to even process things, can run out, and thus that might not be the best option, and therefore you will be going for dream 3. I will state in dream 3 that nothing will be you wake up refreshed. Because option 1 and 2, sometimes if you're processing a lot of like soul karma, you can wake up a little bit hungry and a little bit tired. Soul refreshed, but physically a little bit tired because your soul traveled far, right? So for folks who are really stressed and are opting for version 3, I am speaking inductions for your physical form to really rejuvenate. Yeah, so that you can take on your day, you can take on your lessons that are already playing out. So, there are some days that I do this even for myself. Because I'm like, I can't do any crazy downloads right now. Can I just have boring? Can I just have deeply rejuvenating spa, dream, sleep? And it's gonna be, that's it. Don't let me remember anything. So this is kind of like your rice, right? It's like just a good rice meal. It's a good body for a meal, right? And then there's nothing too exciting happening, and that's actually great. Yeah, especially if your life is already hot and spicy. So, do you see how I have something for everybody? Okay, I hope everybody is ready. For folks, I do have one note. For folks who don't understand the difference of meditation guides and transmissions, you know how tuning forks vibrate together? So for example, you bang one tuning fork and then another tuning fork vibrates because you banged it. So that's the law of attunement, meaning a frequency evokes another frequency in another. So you do that with a piano. So you play the C note, right? So all the other octaves of that C will start reverberating even if you didn't touch it, right? It's just vibes, right? And that's the thing. So when you're listening to meditation guides or hypnosis stuff, if they're done by a very spiritually adept, aligned person, they can be very powerful. That's the whole idea of you also listening to this one. But the thing is, a lot of folks also record meditation guides and they don't really have the strongest spiritual practice, and thus sometimes their guides can feel stale. So we could be talking about the same thing. We could have the same damn words in the instructions, but it will not take you there because they have no spiritual capacity to actually hold your energy and dip you into a dimension. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, that's the difference between somebody reading a meditation guide and doing an actual invocation. Okay? So I just as much as I tried my best to make all of this healing very accessible, Spirit also likes to remind me that you need to Maria needs to remember that this is also very sacred. It is technically ceremony. And as much as you do want to make ceremony your everyday life, the rarefied texture of undergoing these kinds of activities, that change of energy is kind of what makes it divine and otherworldly, quote unquote, because it takes on a different energy, right? And as much as I do joke and post K-pop boys, I do have such deep reverence for these kinds of practices and like portals. That's the whole reason why I can even do them. But yeah, so I really hope that for folks who are listening to this, are planning to do this, are wanting to commune more with transmissions gates, I do need you to be able to discern this when people are talking and they're opening portals or when they're not. They're just flinging their karma around or their wounds. Yeah. So I need you to listen for that, because that's kind of like what you need to listen to when you're about to listen to this whole damn recording. Okay, all right. It's okay. If this is like a new concept to you, it's okay. You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. So, first recording all the way down. Okay. Find yourself in a comfortable position, and I do want you to notice the edges of your bed. So basically the four corners, possibly like a small egg/cocoon carrot on top of your bed, and then just see it encased like as a pod, several layers and sheaths. And as I count to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these sheaths blanket you in this perfect, sublime protection, and also zipper up out in a new space that is both here and not here, and thus is an inward direction towards all of you. Okay? So time, space, folds for this bed of yours. Henceforth. So as you enter the space activated by your specific soul body, I do want you to do a bit of stretches. Find yourself a comfortable position before we shut down all of your external senses into a 1, 2, 3. All these eyes, dials, all these energies, cells pointing attention outward to be drawing in, almost like flowers closing, twisting twisting like a very thin tissue paper in the middle of the night, and then receding into small dots in the center of your form. 1, 2, 3, recede, everything recedes. 4, 5, everything. 6, 7, any concerns that you feel like must not be lost, feel them deposited into like a security box on the left of your head. It's like a clean white or brown box, right? So anything that these external senses are still latching to for information, we just put it in that box, and then you can keep going down. 7, 8, 9, 10, almost like opening doors, black void doors into the center of your spine or your belly or your throat or your heart. It depends. Just go to which one feels good for you. Okay. As you settle into a point that you feel like, okay, that's a point I'm going to for tonight. That is best for me. That is the highest and best for the recollection of all of me towards me. I want you to picture a small internal vision body of you, like the size of a pinhead, just fall through that hole. And it just keeps falling. In dizzying speeds and dizzying directions, in dizzying light forms, almost at the speed of light, until it keeps... it hits the floor. And it's rolling now, skidding, slipping through a few pockets, keeps going down, through, flowing through, and finally reaches this river. That's kind of like an odd river, because instead of flowing down, it flows up. And it's like a long, beautiful, silky river. And it's kind of like that thing that you watch in a landscape painting disappear over the horizon. And you feel that little pin drop body of yours bathe in this pure river of light, permeating all aspects, dimensions, versions of you, starting from your spine, echoing perfectly out. And as you roll in the river, more and more just returns. And the river, even if it's like crawling up, it's also kind of crawling down. You're not sure which direction is where. It's crawling down, out, in, right? It's kind of like a snail fractal. And as you follow this river, it rests into a little pocket of darkness, of emptiness, slips down like a pinball into a you before time exists. And you allow yourself to keep falling down, sometimes hitting some surfaces and sometimes totally not. And you just keep going. And as permitted by the conscious mind through this voice, we allow even the consciousness that is following this audio to fall asleep as it is regathering and falling in this direction. 2, 3, 4. Yielding, surrendering all things that prevent such direction to be traversed. 8, 9, 10. All emergence and return to physical body as the body remembers to wake up into a linear reality, is recalled, is integrated, is woven in. But till now, the ball just traces and follows anything and everything that it longs to seek for. And so it is. Hi, okay, so this is version 2 of our sleep induction, and this is going to be a little bit in the 5th, 6th dimension, like I said, and it's gonna be a little bit of a recollection of our power places and sorting out of wisdom / a bit of dream interpretation rooms. Okay, so as permitted, allowed, do notice the corners of your bed, space above your bed, space below your bed. Imagine like little math grid lines, like a big infinite Rubik's Cube going up and down like a perfect column of light / strings, installing perfect codes, a perfect structure, perfect stability for your little column of light. Allow yourself to feel the solidity of these straight lines and these squares emanating from the center of your bed, and give permission for such grids to be true when you are sleeping as you so desire. 2, 3, 4, in the power potency that you are best for at that moment in time. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. Find yourself in a comfortable position. I do a little bit of stretching. Make sure you stretch your lower spine and maybe twist your wrists like in gentle circles, as well as your ankles. And then find yourself being cradled to sleep, almost like a small leaf or cloth in an infinite big palm of God, the divine, the mother. Can also be the father, can also be emptiness, can also be the heart of your perfect lover. Yeah, can also be the soft, tender space of the middle of the heart of the most perfect love you've ever felt. And you just sink into that, almost like a piece of seed that's sinking into the most rich and potent and juiciest soil. And I want you to feel embedded into it, almost like you're just into that middle of a fruit. Because the fruit now has its seed, and the seed has returned to its origin. Yeah. And I would like all of your external senses to come along with me in shutting down and looping back down into the center of your body, like infinite eyes closing or diasis, twisting off. 2, 3, off, all of them clicking. 4, 5, all of your external senses powering down. 6, 7, all your consciousness settling in the center of your being. 8, 9, 10, and just staying in this specific level. Good. Find lightly graze your spine and find a center of your body where you feel very yourself, very relaxed and very spacious. And I want you to picture yourself as a small body, as a small figure, stretching, almost testing that little space where you do feel like most like yourself. Almost like you're trying on a new shirt, you're trying on a new song, you're trying on new food, you're trying, it's like lotion and you're like putting it on you. And I just want you to get into that. And I want you to just see what it feels like if for 100 200, 300, 400, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You are bathed in the original energy of your source blueprint. What does it feel like if you stayed here and all of your cells remembered all of your viscera, blood, bones, ligaments, muscles, the air between the cells, your teeth, hair, enamel, simply remembers your original energy, and anything that is not, it sheds almost like an easy puff of smoke. Or maybe like a leak. It's leaking out. Maybe near your neck. Definitely at the backside of your body. And just see how like this original energy form of you is radiating, heat radiating off all of these things that are not you. And just see it replaced 2, 3, 4, 5 in every direction, version, dimension that is allowed by this consciousness. 8, 9, and 10, almost like you're turning around and wow, poof, you're done. There's no more efforting to do. And I want you to see a door a short distance away from you, which is a door that leads to the specific energy and power source that you specifically need right now for whatever transition you're in, for whatever lesson you're in, for whatever karma you're unraveling. And I just really trust yourself as you open this door for whatever you see, whatever you feel, whatever color that's drawn to you, whatever scenario is opened up for you. I want you to open that door and really feel how that beautiful invention is designed absolutely perfectly for you. And I want you to take it all in. I want you to take in the faces, the wind, if there's grass, if there's foliage, if there's an ecosystem, if there's a whole party, if it's a whole little domestic beautiful cavern, if it has a scent to it, if there's trickling water, if there's perfumes, if there's food, if there's certain energies and certain beings that are hanging out, just people who you've been praying for, asking for, slash just, oh, this is what I needed, and they're just there, right? Situate yourself in this space. You have all the time to explore this space, and I do want you to find in this space a specific location that feels comfortable enough to sleep in. So for some people, it's a couch. Some people, it's a little knoll of a hill. Some people, it's the bottom of a tree. Some people, it's a little kayak. For some people, it's this duyan. It's this little hammock in a tropical island. Some people, it's this bed that overlooks a window of the happiest memories they've ever had. I want you to really animate this space that holds you. The bed that is your actual bed in your power place. Just want you to notice it. Lie down on it. Notice how big it is. Notice the textures. Notice how hard the mattress is. Notice the alarm clock or the side table. Notice who's with you in bed. Notice even how your body feels like here. Maybe it's bigger, maybe it's younger, maybe it's smaller, maybe it's simpler, maybe it's more magical, maybe more potent, maybe it's just lighter. You know, just notice, right? And for whatever rituals you need to fall asleep here, because, you know, sometimes this is a new place, so it's like, oh, okay, I think I need to say goodnight to some of these folks. Maybe I need to have a different kind of blanket here. Maybe an angel's wing envelopes me to sleep here. Maybe it's a dragon's. Maybe it's a pet. So do allow those little rituals to happen to you. And the form that is in that place falls asleep now. You allow it to go even deeper, and you allow the body that is resting on that bed to also sleep. And remember, two, three, four, letting go of any perception that you need to be anywhere else, and that there are things that okay, so for folks who feel like they've have some trouble with them that they can't ignore or that they can't just run away from, I want you to be able to offer these problems, these issues, these puzzles on your bedside table as a totem, or inside of a little treasure box, or on the seat of a clamshell. And I do need you to be able to ungrip from those so that you could actually fall asleep. Trust that these totems, objects, these issues that you have problems with will be perfectly taken care of by your power place and the energies that are governing, serving, and stewarding you in this space. Allow yourself to rest. Even those things that are important to you, to be able to gently allow it to be pried from your fingers, and allow yourself to actually rest. And feel yourself fold, almost like you're just folded into like a sushi wrap. And you just fall into it, and then bang, you're complete. You're completely there. You're completely in the fold of that deeper rest. And at count of 10, you allow yourself to shut down and rejuvenate here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Allowing what strings that guide and pull you home, to pull you with a certainty like a star born from your heart. 9, 10. Allow everyone who's ever loved you to welcome you home, and for you to feel this embrace for the rest of your night and for the rest of your rest. Allow the physical body to remember to wake up in the intermediary realm and to process in the capacity that is able with the energies and entities there what symbols those dreams and remembrances ever occurred, and with great ease and illumination to also walk out through another door and return to a linear body form, an incarnate manifest form. Knowing, trusting that the energy knows, the soul knows to do this. The soul is given GPS and a roadmap to go through these little checkpoints. That the soul is held by an infinite number of hands of their soul family and the many aspects of God and then define. This we speak into reality, and it is done. Third version, this is just for folks who don't want to remember anything and want a really deep protection sequence and bodily rejuvenation sequence. So we're doing that. Okay. Make sure to give me permission to lay some energies on your bed, on your physical bed. And I do want you to approach it with a sense of willingness and almost like a bowing devotion energy of being like, okay, I'm willing to receive grace here. Yeah? You could gently almost like pat out the dust, or like gently clear it. Some people can even wipe down the corners of the bed, or you could just touch it with sincerity. Okay? And I do want you to imagine the four corners of your bed to be strong, thick pillars, guarded by four angels or deities of directions, looking infinitely fractally out into every version, dimension, level, self of you and all those concerned about you. And they're like little bodyguards. They're that buff guy outside of the club. And they're asking for you. Everything that's not allowed in the club, which is basically all your worries, your woes, your tensions. That doesn't sound like rest, right? And you just yield it into their arms, to their hands, into their feet, into the bottom of the column. You could just imagine maybe shedding black tense energies, just stress, even just bleh. You could even just vomit it out. It's okay. They have perfect vacuum magic portal holes to receive anything and everything that you ever give, and they're like really strong. They're holding up the whole world, so they can take you. You could scream, shed, give everything to them. And I need you to do this even before you lie down. And when you're done, I do need you to crawl into bed and kind of stretch and lay there. Kind of like, I know for some folks this might be too intense, so you can just skip this part if you don't like it. But imagine yourself like a piece of royalty being laid to rest. Kind of like those tombs where King Arthur has his sword and stuff. I know that some people don't want to imagine their deaths, but I do need you to imagine your divinity/royalty. Like that gentle crown, those gentle bed of flowers. If you like the sword, you can have the sword. You could have a bit of decadence on your bed, right? And as you permit, in the level that you permit, I welcome and allow and assist and usher in every kind of etheric level, surgeon, excision, purging, and clearing that is allowed for you. Allow it to begin in the surface of your skin and the surface of your epidermis, into the meat of your muscles, into the air between your skins, your bones, until it creeps up into the middle of your bones, extracts everything that is of ill will in your blood. And just allow all of this exiting and this draining to happen in 1, completely, 2, 3, 4. In perfect order, 5, 6, 7, in allowance, 8, 9, 10. And I do need you to this time think about your DNA and all these perfect energy surgeons, assisted IV drips even, to also work on your DNA. Like, see them as strands, as piano notes, as strings that are being plucked and played and cleaned and blown and lightly burned by holy fires. And allow every DNA strand and letter to be reorganized to its best state. 1, 2, every direction. 3, 4, 5. I need you to let go. It will make things easier. Allow yourself to sink down deeper into the bed. 7, 8. Almost like you're shedding skin upwards. 9, good. 10. And if you feel yourself deeper in bed, as if you're pressed down as they were working on your body, I need you to feel yourself as just pure energy. 6 feet below your bed. In just this empty space and this deep kind of restfulness. And I want you to see yourself tuck into an energy of pure rejuvenation and strength. So it could be a bar of light. It could be like a thumb of a giant. It could be just this wall that feels ultimately supportive. And I want you to lean on it. Like a wall you can lean on. Yeah. And I want you to lean on it for support and rejuvenation. And just like that friend who's like, okay, go, yes, you could just give me your problems. I want you to just crumble and collapse into that wall. Knowing perfectly that in this space you are held. 2, 3, 4, 5. Trusting yourself as you can lay both helpless but also in this state of grace and receiving. Ultimate receiving. 8, 9. As you lean into that greater force and dimension of things. 9 and 10. And then this little leaning edge, I allow you to, as permitted by your consciousness, to rest and sleep for the rest of the night or for whenever you are sleeping. The perfect time and recuperation of your body energy levels forms that have been given permission by your conscious self and your higher self, actually. We allow a few deep breaths. 1, inhale, and then 2, 3, slow exhale. 4, 5, 6, 7. As you learn this graceful dance of yielding. Inhale again. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 5, 6, 7. Yield even deeper. 9, 10. And allow another inhale. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 5. And just feel how for each inhale and exhale, your yielding becomes deeper. Your restfulness and leaning onto this energy is deeper. And really allow and permit that each breath of yours from here on forth is reaching into this deep, deep, deep leaning into that which is strong, that which you could rely on, that which you could truly surrender to, and that you will never question where it is, or if it's far, or if it even exists. It is so present for you as it presses itself against you as much as you press yourself against it. And I want all of your energy body forms to remember this for every breath and every moment, second that is happening for this sleep sequence. And I allow you to lay rest here. And in the time that you are going to quote unquote wake up, that this stability, rejuvenation, and this trust, this foundation rock is fully installed in your being and buffers you into that which is true. You will never forget it. Your bones will remember. I allow you to fully fall asleep. If ever there is consciousness still following my voice, shutting down as it is yielding to this support. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that is the end of the last sleep induction. That's the version 3. So for folks who tried to listen to this with no intention of sleeping, good job on your research. But the experience is different. The whole transmission is different if you actually really do it. But I do understand that some folks could be scoping first. And of course want to listen to my end credits. So yes. This sequence, this induction, will reveal deeper layers as you keep doing it. And if you do remember more images in your dreams, especially if you're doing version 2, do allow yourself to spend some time as you wake up. Like, that half space of you're awake but not yet awake because you didn't have coffee yet or you didn't stand up yet. I do want you to give yourself some time to come back online. And I do want you to just notice the difference of the energy of your body. And just be really gentle and patient with the images that still come back to you in terms of if you feel like they are important, if they have any messages, and if they're not, being just okay, fine, and just appreciating your breath and your morning, right? Give it some time. Give it some time to really settle within you. Also, please do hydrate when you do this. People do underestimate how much when you do a lot of soul work, energy work, like a lot of reclamation, it is quite dehydrating because you're just doing a lot of action in just other realms and you're just not noticing it. because you're attached to conscious action. So, no, that's labor too. So I need you to hydrate. So yeah, that's it. If you want some help in terms of dream interpretation, if you want to learn how to do grids for your own house, so we did do a grid for your bed, but imagine inducting grids for your whole house in terms of like your entire bedroom, your workspace, how to bless the garage of your car, your kitchen, especially your dining area. So if you want to learn how to do these kinds of blessings, you could also book a session with me and we can do a kind of induction for it if you are ready. And yeah, or if you just need a space cleared, just book me, DM. Check the description for details, and that is all for this episode. If you find this helpful, do forward it to a friend or your family members. Anybody who is having nightmares, is having trouble sleeping, is because the clearing of the grid of the bed is very important for people who are having trouble sleeping. So a lot of my family members like hanging out in my room because they feel like there's this underpinning of rejuvenation and rest. And I'm like, yeah, because I installed that. So I'm just saying that if somebody is having a hard time resting, just listening to the audio will help clear the space of their resting area. So if you're traveling, make sure to do that and make sure to try to access this audio, this energy. And yeah. I really do specialize in dream work, I must admit. I'm really good at interpreting really weird stuff or even visions. So even if it's a psychedelic trip or if it's a dream trip, I'm good at deciphering it. So in case you're having like really weird, for example, okay, I have a special heart for those people who feel trapped in nightmares, because I feel like sometimes it could be a recollection or it could be an unprotection of your aura. Okay, so I'm begging you to please consult me, because I do find a lot of these folks online, but unless I have permission from them to help them, I can't help them. Like, it's in your karma. Okay, so if you have friends or family, or it's you who's having a bit of a pattern like this, please ask them to consult me or to listen to this audio, one of the audios, right? And I hope, I'm pretty sure this helped, but yeah, I hope this helped you in the scale that you were asking for. And yes, this can go bigger and deeper if internally you do say that you're ready for the next scale and level. It's just gonna keep unfurling if you're ready for it. Yeah. If you need to process the stuff that you've kind of just let go of, or that you kind of processed via like your dream or your sleep, do journal. Do journal. And anything else I want to say? If you are interested in other practices that do frame this kind of work with dreams, you could look at dream yoga, right? Or you could even look into how Aborigines think about the dreaming, right? Because in Aborigine cultures, the 3D manifest realm is just another version of the dreaming, right? So a lot of indigenous cultures have a deep respect towards sleep and dream messages and interpretation. So this is rooted work, yeah. Both the death, not remembering any images, and the remembering the images. So this is for folks who are kind of nerdy and want to look this up, right? And yeah, okay, so get to it. I really hope that the divine support, love, perfect love, is deeply remembered by everybody. Sometimes my heart breaks when when I really see that a lot of folks don't even have a taste of it. So I really just want to cheer on for everybody who's like trying to touch that or trying to really surrender into that more. Yeah, because it exists. It really exists. So, yeah. That's it. And ciao. See you next week.